All right, all right, all right. Hockey is back. I cannot believe what, dude. What, dude? You're not really buying that, right, dude? I saw it on the internet. Okay,
are you
they
really
come
gonna fall
back
for
on the
this?
13th, the training camp. But
yeah.
dude, and then they go to the hub cities.
Yeah.
And then they're gonna start playing games. August 1st, playing games. Let me ask you a question. If you're so smart, why are you wearing a snow cap in the middle of summer? But I like my hat.
Let's go Panthers! Let's go Panthers! Let's go Panthers! Let's go! Go!
All right, all right, all right. I think we might possibly have a small chance that maybe they're thinking about the possibility of trying to find a way to maybe possibly kind of have hockey again. I think maybe, I'm not sure, I don't know. So, all right, so you guys know obviously by now, NHL Players Association, they all reached a tentative deal yesterday, and the dates they're giving us are basically, I believe it's the 13th that teams go to camp, and I think the 26th they go to the hub cities, and then games are supposed to start on the 1st. Now, they haven't released a whole lot of details about what this agreement entails, and the only thing I can say to you all is, remember when they told us the lockdowns would be for 2 weeks? Yeah, that's about how I feel about this right now. I am so stuck because y'all expect a certain level of enthusiasm from the recaps, and damn it, if they play those games, it's gonna be, I'm gonna be all in. I would like to sit here and pretend that I won't, and probably the first or second period of the first game, I'll be bitching about how this sucks with no fans in the stands and everything. But by the third period, especially if we win the game, I'm sure we're all gonna be locked and loaded and just suckered right in. That said, I would love to hear, I wish they would give us more information about what is actually going to happen as these players test positive. Because they just released a statement yesterday, don't quote me on these numbers, I can't remember the number, but there was a bunch of players that have tested positive over the time period where, they've been practicing again. And so what's going to happen, right? All right? Envision a scenario. Oh shit, Barkov and Huberdeau both got COVID, and now they got to sit out for what, 2 weeks, a month? Who knows how long? I don't know. And then what happens? Are we going to be able to bring players up from the minors? Are there going to be players that already are on the roster as extra? I believe I read, something to the effect of having extra people on the roster. But oh man, I just don't trust it. As the season was coming to an end, as you could kind of see, earlier on when COVID was just coming out, and you could kind of watch, and you looked at the other teams, the other leagues, and you knew, man, it wasn't going to be but 5 minutes before they canceled the NHL season, and sure enough, they did. I do not trust it, and I know that that's not what you guys want to hear, right? But the worst case scenario, obviously, is, God forbid, we actually win the play-in round. Maybe we win another round. And then what happens if, a real sizable number of players, 2-3 players from each team start getting sick? I know that there's a lot of, even like Jillian Fisher, even she is like, look, just cancel the rest of the damn season and try to start over fresh next year. Obviously, as a Panther fan, I'm a little bit biased, and I'm like, oh, okay, let's try to do this. But it certainly is going to be an interesting experiment in human psychology to see just how much we buy in and at what point we buy in, and then obviously with no fans in the stands and everything, and it's we're going to be watching on TV, but it's still going to be different because. Are they going to pipe in noise? That was one idea I had. It's like, hey, let's pipe in fan noise, right? but then you would have to wonder, well, there's not supposed to be a home team because they're playing in these neutral sites. So who would they even cheer for? So that's a dumb idea. So it's basically just going to be like this giant cavernous echo machine where they're playing. And I mean, all sports, I mean, we've seen it 1,000 times in every sport that they play. The players feed off of the energy of the fans, right? So with no fans in the stands and none of that going on, I just cannot envision a scenario where these playoffs are going to be anywhere near the intensity that we normally get, right? You're not really going to have any fights because, you know, the fights overwhelmingly, or, you know, they seem to be what, you know, to get the crowd involved and to get that energy going, and I don't think that's going to happen at all. I don't think the energy is going to lead, you know, is going to lead to any fights. I don't think there's going to be a high enough level of energy. Now, one point I did want to make specific to the Panthers, and that is, this is actually might be something good. Normally, playoffs, right, is heavy hitting defensive games, okay? Everybody is ready to go. They've played a full season. Their bodies are hardened. They're hurt, but they're hardened, and they are beating the shit out of each other, right? That was a huge concern for us if the Panthers made the playoffs. We're not a tough team. We kind of assumed we were going to get our asses kicked because the defense, don't even get us started. I think it's possible that these playoffs are going to be a lot more loosey-goosey, run and gun, and not so heavy on the defense, because I just don't think guys are going to be in physical shape yet to really start laying the wood and hitting everybody. You might get there later on in the playoffs, but still, even you get to the second, third round, teams have only played, you know, 14 games, 15, 20 games, whatever it might be. You usually don't see the heavy hitting start in the NHL season to the second half of the season. So I think it's possible that if defense is not as important in these playoffs, and it's more of a run and gun type of style where it's like outscore your opponent, I don't know. That's the Panthers game, right? Okay, forget about the defense. Let Bob give up his four a night, and we just score 6 and win. You know, and I know that a lot of you think, you know, during the regular season that's not sustainable. However, in these series, okay, in short little bursts like that, I think it'll be sustainable. I think we might actually have a chance to do some damage, because I think the teams that have built their team based upon defense, I think they're going to be at a disadvantage, especially early on in the play-ins and the first round at least. I don't see a lot of heavy hitting going on, so I think that might work in our favor. So as for this channel, boy oh boy oh boy, it has been rough, and I know I was doing those rewinds and I stopped. And the reason being, and you might actually still sense it a little bit now, I had about a 3-week spell there where I talked to you guys about it, where I was really getting dizzy and nauseous and everything like that. And I still can't get over animated, right? So like if we won the cup today and I started yelling and screaming as much as I would want to, y'all would just watch me pass out right here on camera, which I'll do it. We win the cup, I'll just pass out right on camera. That's the whole damn recap. But, you know, I got to the point where by the time I was feeling well enough I could really emote and do videos, there was just not going to be enough time to finish the whole rest of the season on the rewinds. So I just kind of put those on the shelf because I didn't want to keep stopping and starting. I wanted to kind of focus on what I've done now, which is get healthy enough so that when these games start, if the games start, I'm good to go and I can come in and do my normal thing and not have to be low-key, which was what was kind of happening in the other videos. I was getting a little bit too low-key for my own liking. I don't know. Hopefully, as the weather gets, you know, cooler on in September and October, and that's when the real playoffs will be, you know, if they get to the cup, it's supposed to be awarded in October. So by then it'll be cooled off, and probably my energy level will be a lot higher. So that's why I stopped doing those videos for those of you who were watching. And I appreciate the 30 of you that were watching them, by the way. So, all right, that's enough for today. I'm going to be back, you know, as obviously if we start camp here on the 13th, I'm not going to say I'm going to do daily camp videos, but I got nothing else to do. So I'm going to be here, and if they start playing the games, I'm going to be invested. But if they stop playing the games again, y'all, just report a homicide. I'll post my address. Just have the cops come, because just NHL killed me. That's it. All right, y'all just call the cops. You know who did it? NHL. Just come take me. And my last wish is, when that happens, look, you have to take me. You have to chop me up into shark bait. Okay, because this is a true thing. All right. I want you to take me and chop me up into shark bait and feed me to the sharks, so that in my next life I can go surfing without getting attacked by a damn shark, because I've already been sacrificed to the sharks. I want to be able to surf in my next lifetime without getting attacked by a shark. So we'll tell that story another time. All right, guys. Thank you all for watching. I'll see you in a few days.